Now, we just talked about cases a couple weeks ago, but things have changed so drastically, we gotta revisit them. Talking about my number 5 right now, it's going to be the fracture case. Now, the fracture case is a very interesting case, specifically because of how large the supply is. Right now, it's your cheapest opportunity at a cheap rare case, which is a really good thing, but it's got a lot of really bad things to go along with it. Specifically, if you want to look at its price trend, it is shown that it's going to be following the patterns of previously what we've seen, and that means the supply is just way too heavy. Now, I don't actually think this is too terrible of a thing. It's probably what we really expected to see inside of this area, coming from the fact that it is oldest cases inside of the active drop pool before it got moved. It was there for almost 5 years. That's a very significant amount of time, and if you want to look at all the data to back it up, right now our unboxing numbers are quite solid for it. So if it continues on this sustainable trajectory for a while, it's going to be in a very good position come a year or so. But right now, in the side of the current market, I think it's got a lot of opportunity, but it's going to be taking a lot of time to reach said opportunity. Therefore, I think it's a good play, but it's a lot longer of a play than I think a lot of people want to realize inside of the current market. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with their brand new instant sale system. Starting off today, you're going to be getting a free $10 on your first trade, and you're going to be able to get that money instantly. It's not going to take 7 days to get paid with Skinland. You can do it in just minutes after Valve's latest update. Best part is they've got tons of different payout options, and don't forget to use code MasterShiny to get everything you're looking for. They're the safest option if you're looking to sell your CS2 skins, plus their massive marketplace offering every single thing you're looking for if you're trying to buy CS2 skins as well, and a ton of different deposit options. So don't wait, use code MasterShiny and get paid instantly for your CS2 skins. Now, talking about one of the worst areas I think you can put your money right now, it's probably going to be into the fever case. That's because it's extremely expensive. Right now, you're seeing about 6 to 7 fever cases unboxed to every single one gallery case, and that's because the fever case is still in the active armory, and it's going to be there for a very significant amount of time. Therefore, the prices being so similar does not make a ton of sense to me. I honestly see a lot of investment opportunity with the fever case, but I'm not buying it at $1.20 a piece. That's absolutely insane and seems like a very overinflated price. I would say this thing's got a lot of potential when it gets lower. Right now with the current market, I'm avoiding it at all costs. My number 4 case is going to be the Snakebite and the Clutch, both of which I'm grouping in together here just because I think they are a very similar opportunity in being that they both got gloves, and they're both going to be the second and third cheapest option if we're talking about a cheaper rare case. Now, breaking down these two specifically, they're really in a very advanced position compared to something like the fracture case, but they're still lacking behind the rest of the cheaper rare case options just because they do still have a pretty hefty supply behind them. They're the second and third most recently removed, and therefore we're left in a position here where they have definitely seen their fair share of growth, but I think they've got a lot more opportunity if we want to zoom out a little bit more. They've got a ton of potential behind them. When we're talking about something like these rare cases right here, I think it's very important to look at your timeline. Even though they are a little bit more advanced than something like the fracture case, these right here to me are still pretty long-term plays. That's because they are still at a little bit of a cheaper price point that they're going to be taking their time. If we want to look at the Snakebite, it has regressed from its 92-93 cent price point very slightly, and that's not saying it's going to be going back down, but it's a very important thing to point out that these cases are not infinitely going to see growth. They're going to see their pullbacks as well, which is very important, as what we're seeing overall inside of the current market right now is a little bit of a rare case pullback. I really like these two. They're number 4 just because they are going to be a little bit of a longer term investment. They've got a huge upside and huge potential opportunity. Now, talking about our active duty cases right now, we've got to rule out the complete obvious choice. That's going to be the Seal Genesis Terminal. There is no investment potential here at all. This thing is not even necessarily a case. Now, getting to the other 4, there is a lot of opportunity when it comes down to a super cheap price point, which I don't think we're really at just yet. We've got our Kilowatt, we've got our Recoil, and we've got really the Revolution that are the 3 cheap ones that I think you could make an investment opportunity into. For me, they're just a little bit too expensive, and honestly, they're probably going to be going down in price over the next couple of months rather than up if we see the current market trends continue. Then you got your Dreams and Nightmares case, which once again is something that I just try to avoid in general. It's a lot more volatile than I would want as an investment, and as a quick flip, you have the opportunity, but that's not really what I'm trying to do. The number 3 case on my list is going to be going to the Danger Zone right now. The Danger Zone is in a very strong position when it comes to a lot of the aspects we're looking for a case. It's got a very good situation with the Horizon case, being that it's a little bit less expensive than the Horizon, meaning that they're not necessarily direct competitors, which is really good. And if we want to talk about the Danger Zone case itself, it's got a lot of desirable assets that we're looking for. It's got one of the best unboxing numbers when it comes to a cheaper rare case. It's got some very consistent demand, and inside of it specifically, it's got some knives that people are really striving for. Overall, it's a very well-rounded case, and if we want to look at the unboxing numbers, it's definitely reflected there. The unboxing situation is desirable as well, as the supply isn't absolutely massive like some of those other cheaper rare cases. This is definitely one of those where I'd say if you have the opportunity to get in at a little bit of a cheaper price point, or you can throw up a low ball buy order, I would definitely invest into some of that specifically just because I really like the future of this case, and it's shown to be one of the heavy gainers in a period of hype as well. Now, talking about our discontinued cases, this is going to be your Riptide, your Shattered Web, and your Broken Fang inside the current market. I really like these. Honestly, I've been coming around to them a little bit more, but it really comes down to the fact that they are just so expensive. We're talking about a case that's $10 minimum. If we want to look at the current market inside of the rare case market, I think there's a lot better opportunities you could be putting your money into rather than just straight up discontinued cases. They are not necessarily guaranteed profit, even though theoretically they should be. That's not how this market works, and therefore I think you're better off taking a little bit of risk with a rare case rather than just going straight into a discontinued for the majority of people. Now, talking about a little bit of an area we don't really hit on too much, it's going to be a lot of your more expensive cases that are still in a really good gaining position. Talking about your gammas, your spectrums, your chromas, your revolvers, your wildfires, a lot of those cases that are sitting around $5-ish on the Steam market right now, but still have very strong upside. I would say there's definitely a very strong opportunity to look at some of these specifically. The biggest problem you're going to run into is right now they've kind of evolved into one mass. Therefore, you're probably not going to be seeing one of these cases shoot up to $12, $15 with the other one sitting down at $5 or $6. They're probably all going to be moving in tandem together, even if it's relatively slowly, just because that's how they are now viewed as a overall whole. I like them, but they are in a little bit of a weird position now. Now, for me, the second best opportunity inside of this current market is definitely going to be going to our Prisma 1 and our Prisma 2 cases. Now, in this situation, they're probably relatively equally priced. I would go for the Prisma 2 just because it's shown a little bit more desirable traits, but I don't think that selling one for the other really makes sense. Now, breaking down exactly why I like these cases, it comes down to the fundamentals about them. Both of them contain knives, which, as we know, is starting to become a little bit of a rarer commodity, and right now they're extremely desirable. But most importantly, if we want to look at what's inside specifically, we can see that there's a lot of demand for these cases. The unboxing demand on these things is absolutely off the chart, and if we want to look at the price point, it's definitely not cheap, but it's not the most expensive. It's come down to around $1.70 with a good buy order. This is almost like 50 cents cheaper than what we were seeing just a month and a half ago, and honestly, I think they're in a much better position now than they were a month and a half ago. The unboxings are stable, they're strong, and people are really interested in your Prisma cases, just not this exact moment, which makes it a great opportunity for you to jump in and get some of this profit when they do rebound back up, in my personal opinion. Now, my number one case, hands down right now, is going to be going to the Gallery case. I mean, let's be completely clear. If you can get in on a potentially discontinued case for $1.30 or whatever price it's currently sitting at when you're watching this video, when we compare it to something like the Riptide, the Broken Fang, or even the Shattered Web, all of those are 5, 6, 7x times more expensive than the Gallery case is currently sitting right now, and the Gallery case itself is actually not too shabby. It's not the favorite case when it comes to the unboxing of the items inside of it by any means, but it's still extremely strong, and it's definitely one of the top tier cases when it comes to unboxing numbers right now, and it's probably going to be staying that way as long as this case stays in a relatively desirable position like it is right now. I personally think any case with a very finite supply is going to be a good investment, especially right here with what we're seeing, where you had to grind out stars manually. Even if there was bots, even if there was some whatever going on, I really am confident on the Gallery case that as long as this demand stays here, we're going to be in a very strong position moving forward. Right now, I think it's a little bit undervalued if it does get discontinued, but that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.